This message is just for you. You are good enough. This is the episode for you. Today, I just want to pop in with a reminder that learning a language absolutely is a realistic goal. So stand by it if that's what you want, even if you can't see yet how it's going to be possible for you. Because so many people that I've met treat learning their language or becoming fluent as a kind of pipe dream. Even once they've started, they put it in that same box as winning the lottery, running in the Olympics, or becoming a multimillionaire. The sort of thing that happens to one person in millions. And then it almost seems embarrassing for them to admit that actually that's what they want. They say they want to get fluent, and then they sheepishly add really quickly that as long as they can order a coffee on holiday next year, they'll be quite happy really. And if your goals are genuinely to be able to order a coffee on holiday next year, that is your tick box moment, that's your end goal, it's what you're working towards, then that's fine, because it works because it aligns with what you want. And also part of the problem here is with the wording of learning a language or becoming fluent. We know that fluency, or when we've done it, is this massive spectrum between, on one end, going completely incognito as a non-native. Nobody would ever believe that you'd grown up speaking a completely different language. That is a really big ask. There are so many hurdles to climb there. And actually, that's not what most people's goal is in learning their language. And then across the spectrum, we've got all the practical things that we want to be able to do in our language. Writing the emails for work, being able to make friends, being able to watch films or media, being able to, for example, speak to our partner's family, raise children in that language, do a course in that language. Those things are much, much easier to make realistic because we know that we need targeted study in specific areas to be able to achieve them. We know what they are, we know what they look like, and more importantly, we know what kinds of things we need to do to be able to get there. But here's the thing. When we tell ourselves we're being unrealistic by wanting to learn our language to whatever level, or that we're being realistic by setting immediate goals like I want to be able to order a coffee and then kind of drawing a line under it, that can quite often be a euphemism or a justification for playing small or diminishing our goals purely out of fear that unless we make them small, we might not be able to reach them. In so many ways, the goals that we tell ourselves are realistic are being set or at least co-written by our inner critic. They're based on us looking at what we know or what we can do right now, and then trying to extrapolate that across what our future selves might be capable of in a month, in a year, or 10 years down the line. They're based on our current skill set, and often, because it's our evaluation of our skill set, it's quite a conservative or possibly negative one. Our current comfort zone and our routines. And they ignore the fact that we're going to be really different people in really different circumstances at different points of our journey. And Daniel Gilbert did a fantastic 7-minute TED Talk on this. I'll link it in the description below, called The Psychology of Your Future Self, where he talks about the phenomenon known as the end of history illusion. What he says is, when we look back, we can see how much we've changed. We've changed so much throughout time up until this point. In everything, our worldview, our favourite things, our skill sets, our circumstances. But then, because we're not very good at predicting change, we struggle to even imagine any more changes. So we assume that our future goals are all going to have to be based on what we have at our disposal right now, and that we'll be doing them in pretty much the same life and the same society that we're in right now. We vastly underestimate, he says, how much we and how much our lives are going to change from the present moment into the future. And he sums this up by saying, and this is a quote that I love, "Human beings are works in progress that mistakenly think they're finished." There are times when we are genuinely being unrealistic, and those times are normally a question of our expectations. We're asking too much of ourselves in a time that's really busy, in a time when our health is bad, in a time when lots of people need us, or we're asking ourselves to work really hard in really difficult circumstances. But when we're talking about long-term goal setting, we don't just need to look at our present moment. Your language journey is not all going to be predicated on you making do with what you have right now. And there is so much in front of you that you can't forecast yet, but when it arrives, it will make things so much easier. There are so many discoveries that lie in front of you that will make your learning easier and quicker, and you'll find techniques and routines that suit you better than what you're doing now. So you'll enjoy it more, so your confidence will grow, so your stamina will grow. And because so much of learning a language is actually about learning how to learn, how to think, what questions to ask, future you will be so much further down the line in those things that it will turbocharge a lot of the things that you're struggling with now. Those things that you're finding hard right now might just fall into place without you even needing to find and enact a solution. So if there is one takeaway from this video, language learners, it's that it's okay to want to learn a language and get really good at it. And it's also okay to say that you want those things, even if you're just beginning your journey, even if you haven't started yet, but you're seriously thinking about it. And even if you don't have the slightest idea how you're going to get there. Whatever you do, don't make your end goal smaller just because you can't imagine the path yet. You really don't need to. All you need to be able to do right now is fix your long-term goal. What is it that you want to be able to do? How will you know when you've reached it? And then set your next short-term goal. That is your one next step. And if you can see further than that, that is a bonus, but it is not essential. Just keep going one step at a time. Keep focusing on your goals and don't be afraid to let your end goals be big. It's not arrogant, it's not unrealistic, and your goals are so valuable for you. So don't underestimate them and the power that they have. And if you've got obstacles that are really blocking your vision of what you want to be able to do, if you're coming across problems, ask in the comments below. The people that watch this channel, we love languages. We're on big journeys, doing big goals. Not all of them, by the way, are language related, but so many people who are subscribed to this channel or who watch from time to time know the struggles that you're going through. They're coming up against very similar things in their own journeys, and they may well have the solution that you need. And of course, I monitor all my comments really regularly as well. I want to help. So if you've got any questions, feel free to ask in the comments below. And if you see someone else who's struggling and you think you might be able to help, it would be so appreciated, because this is all so much easier when we're not doing it alone. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you back here tomorrow.